Back in the late 1980s to early 1990s, my parents had to source good quality wood for the manufacturing side of the business. Since my parents started doing export for furniture, they had to make sure that the quality of the wood is good and it's not going to crack or have any lamination issues. Since it was difficult to find it then, they decided to build their own wood kiln drying facility. The raw lumber is stocked inside the chamber, and then from there it is subjected to a combination of specific moisture, specific temperature, and also air that would circulate around this lumber. I'm Lieza Bituin, owner of the Venta Suites here in Betis, Guagua, Pampanga. I'm a second-generation furniture manufacturer. We started the furniture business here in Pampanga by my parents. We're 4 siblings and everyone is also in the furniture business. This family property that we have where the Venta Suites is located used to be part of the furniture manufacturing production facility of the furniture companies. But then there was the Mount Pinatubo back in the early 90s, which forced us to relocate the entire production of our furniture, including the kiln drying. So from there, the warehouse was just used as a storage, and basically, it became idle. But then during the pandemic, we thought that, so we have this idle property, why not turn it into something while still keeping the history of that place? And luckily, I got part of the warehouse of the wood kiln drying facility. We already had the structure, and I just wanted to take advantage of that and take advantage of the story of what that building used to be. Inside the chambers, what we have are these big blowers that is responsible to circulating the hot air inside. In the end, we were able to use them inside our suites, which we call chambers. Instead of making new rooms, just use that as the rooms for our guests. Like these big blowers were actually the inspiration of the name Venta. When I was thinking of a name, I wanted to have it connected to its story. So I was thinking, like, what are the components of the kiln drying process? So you have air, you have heat, and then you also have the ventilador. So that's Venta, and then just say Venta because it sounds like more positive or catchy, and para ma-venta siya, di ba? Tapos, I Googled it, and it was also a good coincidence that Venta is the Spanish word for countryside inn. In designing the Venta Suites, I thought of just looking at what components were available from the kiln drying facility. And then it's as simple as the big blowers, the heating coils, even some stacks of wood that were used to stack up the lumbers. The warehouse also had existing columns. It was basically just first doing an inventory of what is already there, what can still be used as is or reused and repurposed into something else. One important component of the kiln drying facility are the big blowers. So I really love that industrial look of that. It's something that we used around the property, more decorative, but it is something that when you see it, it instantly transports you back to what it was, the heritage of the place, the story behind it, its old purpose. It's such an advantage that the property is surrounded by an old fish pond. So we have that body of water that really adds to the, I believe, the calming factor of the place. So we just want them to have a peaceful, relaxing place. A lot of our guests are coming from Manila, just a 2-hour drive. You want that feeling of exploring. I would like my guests to experience that. One important component of wood kiln drying process is, of course, producing the heat. What remains in the structure that you can find is this big furnace and boiler and chimney. So this produces the heat that is then transported to the chambers. So the structure is still there, and now we added some spotlights and some pin lights that at night it kind of illuminates the entire chimney. Honestly, it was also very tempting having a furniture factory to make new ones. It was also a discipline to tell myself, no, even if you can make a new chair, go in the warehouse and find what you can use, because that way, it's still more connected to the story of the place. With the kiln drying facility already here, it kind of helped me to decide in what pieces would go together, the layout, but still always going back to that story is very important. It gave everything that's here a purpose. It's like also a way of expressing gratitude to what's been given to us as a second generation in the business. I personally, feel a certain joy or happiness also when, guests kind of realize, say, hey, this chair or table that I'm sitting on used to be, this machine part. Building is not always about doing something from ground up. It's like you can work backwards or work with what you already have and then just give a new interpretation or a new life to it. But of course, you still want to give justice to that rich history.
For more insightful videos on design, subscribe to Design Will Save the World.